Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to backup my application data on the Google Drive. Right now, all my expenses data lives inside my phone. So if it's lost, everything is gone. So by the end of this video, everything is going to get backup to my own Google Drive automatically. So no central server, I own my data and I can restore it on any device, not just phone. I can use it on my PW app on the Windows as well. So let's just quickly see the warm-up prompts. As you know, we are creating this using Claude Code. So what we are going to look, what we are going to create in this video, we are going to create a sign-in using Google, our account. Then we are going to back up all expenses and budget to our private folder. And then we are going to restore on any device by signing in. So the backup is invisible to the user's normal drive. So it's only app only, and app can access only that private data, and you do not allow other documents to be shared. So it's still 100% client side. So let's just quickly see the prompts before we dive in to the actual code. One thing I want to reiterate, if you want to go to the actual coding, so you can switch to the exact chapter. So we are looking at the warm-up prompt. What we are going to ask our like Claude Code, I want to backup the app's data to the user's own Google Drive. No central server, the user owns their data. I don't want backup files cluttering their normal drive though. Research the right Google Drive approach for app backup and explain it before we build. Then comes the first main prompt of Google Cloud setup. So what we are going to do, walk me through setting up Google Drive. That's what we are asking. We are providing it each and every instruction, which we'll be looking when we'll be using this prompt. Then what we are doing, we are asking the Google Auth service. So what we are going to say, read that plot.md file, and then we are going to set up the Google Drive service. Once we are done with that, we are going to add a backup method. And then once we are done with the backup, what we are going to do, we are going to create a restore method as well. So once that restore method is being done, what we are going to do, we are going to update our Claude MD, which we used to do as usually. So let's just quickly move to the VS Code. So I have my prompts over here. So let me just start a new Claude session and start the first prompt. So I'm going to open the Claude. I'm going to add a new session. Let me just close this. Let me just paste. So what I'm going to do, I want to backup the app server to the user's Google Drive. No central server. The user owns the data. I don't want backup files cluttering their normal drive. So this is the prime like points to be highlighted, where I'm suggesting not to use their normal drive to research the right Google. So let's just see what it brings up. So as I've asked it, so do not clutter their normal drive through. So let's see what it have provided. So it has researched, and within the web search, it have found, and the core answer, what it's saying, app data folder. There is inside a drive, there is an app data folder. So basically what it's saying, Google Drive has two storage spaces, not one. One is the drive, the normal, which user sees, and the second is app data. So this is hidden for app folder. So what we are going to do, this is exactly what you are wanting. So what we are wanting, invisible in the drive UI, private to our app, and user still owns the data. So user can't directly modify that. And non-sensitive scope is there. So you can see it only reads this app data. So it's have a narrow scope. So it doesn't access the user's real drive. And how auth fits, the app is a single service page application, like Angular application is a single page application or hosted over the GitHub pages with local storage with no real backend. So what does it shape up? We are going to use the Google Identity Service, the current library with the token model. And what we are going to do, we request only drive.appdata. So user sees a consent screen to see, create and delete its own configuration data. So token are again short-lived in memory. So one keyword to flag now, what is suggesting a publish auth client requires registered origin and auth constant screen in plot for GitHub pages. So we will register github.io origin and localhost for dev. So we'll see how it works. The backup flow, what we are going to build. So what is going to actually happen? Expense store state is going to a JSON. Then within the Google Drive, a create is being used within the parents app data folder. Then what we are going to do is store file ID on next backup and files to update to override. So the store is on a similar way. File.list from the spaces, we are going to get this app data folder and we are going to get this specific state and going to restore it. We will see to it as we move forward. So we keep one canonical this override in place plus option is timestamp snapshot. Why not the alternative? So it's suggesting, so there could be multiple things. App data folder, it's hidden, but we are asking for it's private to only to app and have a narrow scope. So this is the right tool. So the normal like drive folder, it's going to have a full drive scope, which we do not want. It is going to clutter the drive, and some broader scope is going to be like provided. So user might not prefer. So heavy Google verification is required. A shared with me Central Server file. Again, it's not being and Google Drive's built-in app backup is also not. This is an Android system feature, not available for web app. And we have our app as a progressive web app need to be deployed. So with this approach, now we know that how we need to proceed. So we are going to ask it, like first walk me through what I'm trying to build. So let me just provide the prompt, what I'm asking it. Let me just paste again. Let me scroll using this. So walk me through setting up Google Drive access for a client-side web step by step. And what I've asked, creating the Google Cloud project, enabling the Drive API, configuring the auth constant screen, creating a auth client ID for our GitHub page, scoping to only app data folder and minimum permission, nothing else. So we want this. Tell me exactly what to enter it each screen. We want to narrow possible scope and we only want to touch our own backup folder, never the user's real file. So let's just see what it brings up. So it have provided us some details. So what does it say? Like live URL, as you know, this is our live URL. And JavaScript origin is going to be like this, hello wahab.html, and dev origin is that. So what it's going to do, it's setting the step one, create the Google Cloud project. This is something which I need to do on my own. So I'll be going to that specific location and then I'm going to create a new project. So let me just go over there. So I have opened the console.cloud.google. So it lands on this page. So I need to create a new project. So let me create a new project, what it's asking for. And what I need to know, what it's suggesting, project name should be this. So I'm suggesting this backup name and organization visit. We are going to leave it as a no organization. And then we are going to like create it. So I've kept this project name and I'm going to create it. So it's creating this project. So in the meantime, let me go and see what else we are required. Then what we are going to do, we need to enable the Drive API. So within the left nav, what we need to look out for API and services and then library. So let me go to that project and then see. Let me just go to this project. So I am in this expense tracker backup project and I need to go and find the API and services and library, right? So API service and then library and then we need to search for Google Drive API and then we need to enable it. So let me just go and do that. So I'm searching Drive. Let's see if Drive come up because seems like this is the Google Drive API. So this is the exact thing which we need to look out for and we need to enable it. This is the only API we need and we do not need to enable anything else. So let me just enable that. So I'm doing it on my own account and you can do if you need to use your account. With this being enabled, let's see what else we need to configure. So what we need to do, we need to configure the auth consent screen. Now Google auth platform. So in the left, but we need to go to the API service and the auth consent screen. If it's a fresh pro, you land into a OAuth platform, get a started wizard. And because this is again a fresh project, so let's just go and see all the screen. Let me just go service. Okay, not this way. And OAuth consent screen. So I'm here. And what else I need to do? Let in the meanwhile, it's going to load it. What I need to do after landing on this auth consent screen. So land on the OAuth platform and get a started wizard. And it's going to ask for the app information. So let me just copy this and user support email. I'll be skipping this. So let me just start that. So app name is going to be this. I'm using my own email address. So let me just move. And the audience is external. So external plus non-published. So which is exactly what we want first. And email address is again mine. So let me just go and set this external. And again, the contact address is again mine. Let me just create it. I need to add myself as an audience. So let me just add a user, test user, add user. So let me just add as a user. So I'm giving my email. I'm going to save it. So a user is being added. Then comes the data access. This is the real thing. So we need to go to the Google Auth platform and data access. So, and then we are going to add or remove a scope. So let me just go there. I need to go to Google Auth platform and then data access. This is the Google Auth platform and you can see the data access. So I'm here. And I need to add or remove scopes as mentioned. And in the filter box, we need to paste this exactly because we are going to use this. So let me just try searching this. Where's the filter box? So let me just quickly try figuring out to table. I have added that and you can see this is being enabled. So with this being enabled, what I need to do is to just here, I need to click on add and remove a scope. Let me just paste what we have just copied, add to the table. You can see it's been selected and I'm going to update it. So it's going to show up here. And let's see what else we need to do. So we have only take this and especially not this other thing. And then we have updated and then we need to save. So we have updated that and there is a save over here. So you can see your non-sensitive scope, which is this. So let me just save this. So we have saved that and you can see this is a non-sensitive scope as rightly identified. So it runs only to your app's hidden folder. So user do not have to worry about their files or any data being compromised using this app. So with this being done, what we need to do, we need to create the OAuth client ID. So that we need to go to the API service and then credentials and need to create certain credentials for our auth ID client. So let me just go over there, API service, and not this. Let me just click that. API and credentials. And within the credentials, what we need to do, create credentials or client ID. So let me just create credentials or client ID. So I'm clicking on that. Now it's asking for the application type. So our application is web application and the name is expense tracker web. So let me just copy that. And then we are going to provide those URLs again. So let me just use the web type and name is going to be this and authorized JavaScript origin. So it's asking for the authorized JavaScript. So I'm going to add these two. Let me just add this first and add the second as well, which we are going to access from the local. So both have been added. And then it's asking for the authorized redirect URI. So we use the GIS token model it's suggesting, which use a pop-up and validate against JavaScript. It doesn't use the URL. So it's not going to redirect to any URL. So we do not need to add anything over here. So we need to click create and need to copy the client ID. So let's just going to create it. And the client ID is going to look like this, like Google user consent. And this is also a client secret. So client side ever never use it. So we are going to copy the client ID, right? So let me just copy the client ID. I'm going to keep it inside a notepad and these might be blurred because it might not be relevant for you. So I'm keeping things for myself. There is a provision to download the JSON. I have downloaded the JSON as well for my own reference. So now what we have with ourselves, we have enabled the APIs. We have a limited scope. Our client type is web application and JS origin, which you have said, and publishing is testing mode now. So we are going to publish it later with no verification. So basically what now the app can do, the app can create, read, and overwrite file in its own hidden folder, and it's technically incapable of touching the user's real drive, which is a very good thing because that permission was never granted. So when you create the file, paste it and back to me. It's not a secret, and why I'll wire it up in the Google Drive backup. So what it's asking us, so provide me the client ID, and it's saying the client ID is not something which we are going to. So I'm pasting the client ID along with the next build this step as well. So let me just paste that as well. And I've provided the client ID, which it's going to use on its own. And I'm providing the prompt as well. So let me just click this. So the Claude have completed what it was doing. And let's just quickly see what it says, like what it have built. So what it have done, it have created a service.ts file, which we'll be looking at it. So a Google Drive service. So again, it's an application root and only one single instance is going to get created. So it's going to handle the Google sign-in via the GIS token client we configured. Then it modified the environment TS and the production.ts to add the Google client ID, which we have provided. Then the signal it exposes, because we are using the uh, modern version 21 of Angular, and we have instructed to use signals. So the signal is exposed matching receipt OCR service private variable as read-only pattern. So again, it's somewhat similar to the way other services are using. So it have referenced one, and it's using is sign in, the account, and the error. And these are the like methods, or you can see the signals and decision worth knowing about what it's saying. The scope stays at the floor. Only this is requested. Then fetch is being used, not HTTP client, because what we need, For the Google call, your auth interceptor overrides authorization with the local app token on every HTTP request, which would break Google call. So same third party says outside HTML client presented that receipt or service. So this is the reason it is stating that the reason is used fetch instead of the HTTP client. Then comes the ng zone run. So at the GIS callback boundary, what does the GIS fires outside Angular zone? So without this, the signal won't update, but the view won't refresh. So it is using ng zone dot run. So we will be looking it into more detail. Then the token is memory only. So SPA got no refresh token from the token model. So nothing is persisted to the local storage. After reload, the user reauthorizes. Silent date already consented and token refresh every 60 seconds. So sign out is going to like revoke the grant. So this is how it like done. And you can see this is the actual drive.service. So it do have the scope. It have kept those drive scope, GIS source, and the drive API. It have created an interface for the Google account, where the name, email, and a photo URL it mentions. Then it have a GIS token, minimal typing for the bit of GIS token, and other interfaces it have created. So let's just quickly see that. I'm not going into detail at this point. Then comes the Google Client ID in both the local and the production one. So let's just move forward and let's see what it's asking. What's it saying? Next step is Google Drive backup service. So what's this doing? Next step is the Google Drive backup service plus the backup restore UI wired to the. So want me to build that now. So we'll be using our prompt to further instruct it. So add a backup. It should take add a backup button somewhere. So instead of somewhere, I am going to ask, let's say, uh, add a backup method to the Google Drive. It should take our app data, all expense and budget from the expense, serialize it to the JSON, backup to the as a single backup file. If a backup already exists, update it. Add a backup now better. Let's it over here. Somewhere sensible. Instead of that, I am instructed add a backup button to a settings screen, which should be accessible from the main window, which should be accessible from the main window using a settings icon. So I am improvising the prompt. So let's see what it does and how it does. And if need be, we will revisit our prompt. Okay, so Claude have successfully built that what we have asked for. So what it have built? It have built a backup on Google Drive service. So backup is the function. Zero arguments, just read the expense and limits straight from the expense store. Serialize a version, and then it's going to write it inside the hidden app data. So no duplicates for existing expense backup, and then patches the file and contents into place it found. And what else? New signals for the UI. So is backing up or last backup. So it's keep tracking that as well. Then comes the setting screen, which I have asked for. So what does it do? Standalone, lazy loaded at settings. So this is what I've asked for it, and it knows from the router that we are using lazy loading. So not connected, connect Google Drive button. And then once connected, so it can show the avatar. Then it started for the wiring. So edit the settings route in this and no guard. So it's reachable from the main window. At this point of time, no guard is there. So we'll edit a settings icon. Then certain conventional loads, data medium via the built-in data pipe, keeps formatting a pipe for Claude.md. The drive use fetch again is for the same reason. Backup reads to try it. The auth app is still in testing mode. So sign in with the Google account listed as a uh, test user. So go to this and you can confirm the app file exists at this drive.google settings manage apps. So add the restored. So we need to add the restored side as well. So let me just do that first and then we'll be going further. So let me just ask it to add the restore button. Add a restore button, it reads from the app, press it and loads the into the, because it overrides, then you will replace adder from with that confirmation inside the settings screen. So let me see how it have created. So again, the plot have completed. So what it have added? So it have added the store. So let's see what it does. Right. So restore data is going right both to local storage. So the storage survives the reload and restores goes to this method, never a direct notation. Then comes the service. The Google.service is split into fetch, then apply. So the confirmation can show the backup data before anything is overwritten. So this is going to work. And then comes the certain new signals have been used for restoring and the settings in the UI. Restore from backend button is being again added and confirmation pencil like this is going to appear before and this is going to save. This will like replace your current data with the backup from date this continue. So again, this is going to show up and going to restore. So the flow, it says that we are going to click on the restore. It's going to call the service download, then validates the backup. Then it's going to show the confirmation panel with the backup date. If we say yes, then it's going to call the restore data and which is going to override state plus local storage. And then it's going to be success line. And if cancel is being called, so discard with nothing changes. So that completes the backup restore feature. So it says that you want me to build me it, like the docs for the GitHub pages and or hold off until you test it locally. So create, I'm asking it, let me just first copy one last thing, the retrospective, because it have cleaned everything. So let me just do one thing. So I'm providing the retro is along with what I'm going to say to it, build the local server as well, so I can test locally. Don't do anything else. Let me just remove this. I just don't do anything else. Let's see what it does. So let me open the URL. So once it's going to provide me the URL. So you can see it have provided the URL. So let me open that. So it have provided the URL. So let me open that. And you can see there is a setting icon over here. Let me go to that. And what does it say? Backup to the Google Drive. It want me to connect to the Google Drive. So let me try connecting with the Google Drive. And it's asking for the authentication. So I'm allowing it. So I have given access to the app that currently being tested. So you shouldn't continue if you know the developer that invited you. So as I have provided that, so let me just allow that. So you can see once I have this connected, now I can back up now. So let me just try backing it up. So you can see it's being backed up. And one more thing which Claude have mentioned to us over here on top, if I quickly go you, post the backup. So what it have says, like go to the drive.google settings and manage app. So it shows the hidden app data usage. So it would appear in the my drive. So let me just quickly see if I can go to the settings and see. Uh, it shows hidden app data usage. So let me see where is it. So here you can see within the drive, within the manage apps, expense tracker unverified is being used, and you can see the hidden app data is 1 KB. So with this being done, let's just quickly go to our app and go to the dashboard. And let me try opening it. Let me just try doing one more thing. I'm going to do it from my mobile app, and then I'm going to restore it from the server. So let me just do it in my mobile app first. Let me just uninstall it first. So now let's just try restoring from the backup. So let me just try restore. So you can see it says that this will replace your current data with the backup from this. So continue. So let's just try restoring it. And you can see it have restored my data. And let's just quickly go to the dashboard and see if all the data is being there. Let me just do one more thing. If I can go to expenses and delete a few one, let me just clear all the expenses. So you can see there are no expenses. And let me just go to it again require us to connect because every time we need to. So it's been connected, and let's just restore from the backup. And let me just quickly restore it. And once it's being restored, so let's just go to the expenses, and you can see all the expenses have been restored. So this is a good way we are able to. So I'm very hopeful that you are able to follow along with me and you are able to code exactly how we can backup and restore our data using Claude Code. A service have been added, some configuration using Claude.console, Google Console have been added, and I walk you through how you can easily add this to your application. I'm very hopeful that in this journey, you are able to follow along with me. And if there is some advice, any questions or comments, feel free to leave it below the video. And do like and subscribe the video so I can create further good content for you guys. One more thing, like as if you think there are certain other topics that needs to be covered, feel free to leave in the comment as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.